Who is an aging family member out there who doesn't have a legal will? I'm Whitney Kell, and I just found out that I have an uncle that I didn't know about. And you don't want to know why I found out about it? Because he doesn't have a legal will. He and his wife signed the will, but they didn't get it witnessed. And apparently you and your spouse are not enough to be witnesses on each other's will. And then his wife passed away, and so he's the only person on the will, so they contacted all the heirs, and I'm one of the heirs. But here's the catch. The Catholic Church is listed in the will, and they want their money, and they're coming after us. Now, here's the thing. If that's the wishes of someone that I didn't know, I could respect that. But the legal system is what actually runs the decision. So the question is, out of the kindness of my heart, am I turning over an estate that I never had rights to? I didn't even know about it, and I didn't know the guy. Because the legal system says that will that he created, because he was an attorney, by the way. The man's an attorney. He did not get a witness on his will. So I guess in Alaska, which is where he's based, there's these things called holographic wills. Now, for me, because I feel like they were very aggressive, by the way, just to add that, I felt like the father was, they really want the money. They were in the will, they expected it, they threw him a big party after his death, expecting this money. And then when the will came to be, they realized that it wasn't even a legal document because it's not witnessed. So anybody out there who thinks you have your business in order, you got to check it, because whatever happens with this case, and one of the best things that has happened is I have cousins I didn't even know about. I'm so grateful. They're lovely people. I'm super excited that I've gotten to know them and that we're building a relationship. The death of my father last year opened up a quarterly call. We do a Zoom with my cousins on my dad's side, and this group is on my mom's side. And I knew very little about my mom. So these cousins are actually educating me on parts of my life I didn't even know about. The point of this video is to get yourself a will, to put things in the name of whoever it is that you want your beneficiaries, then that excludes the will. So making sure that you have beneficiaries on all your accounts, so there's no question who your estate will go to, because I am learning how sketchy it is. And so what's going to happen, and what we came to the conclusion of, because I do realize that had there been a will, I wouldn't have even gotten a phone call. Like, we wouldn't have even been informed. And there's two sides to that for me, because the Catholic Church wants their money, they really want it. And if my uncle had known he had a family, would that have changed anything? I don't know. But I do know that if the situation was flipped, the Catholic Church would not be calling us and trying to give us a portion of my uncle's estate. It's more than I'm sharing. It's very, very messy. It's very complicated. And I catch myself getting hyped up because somebody wants something that I feel like it belongs to me, but I don't feel entitled. And I think they do. And I think that is the rub with any experience, where if somebody feels entitled, they're going to turn into a much more aggressive version of themselves because of that ego piece that gets in the way of hearing others, which is something I'm really practicing with. Because look, if somebody said that they want somebody to have their money, do you want to keep it from them? But it was so long ago, and apparently there's a second will because his wife passed away. So there's another will. And in that will, which we'll see if we can find, who knows what it says. But I do understand my uncle is wacky. My whole family's pretty wacky. So it's very exciting to have family that I didn't know I have. And I am simply doing a public service announcement and sharing my story, a little bit of it. Make sure you get a witness on your will. If it's handwritten, they might consider it in a different way than they do if it's electronically created. Electronically created wills have a different way of being looked at. You got to have a witness. So, and your spouse is not your witness. You have to have a third party witness when two people are signing on one will. So just public service announcement, any of you out there who don't have beneficiaries on all your checking accounts, make sure you do, and then get a will together just so you have something in place. Because what's going to happen here? It's going to probate. Probate will take over. Taxes, executor, all the things that are going to go through who knows what's going to be left of his estate. And then, whatever now there's the fight about whatever the estate is, because I don't think that the church is going to get it, even if he did a second will, because he didn't get the first one witnessed. He doesn't know to witness it, which is very strange to me if you're an attorney that you didn't figure that out. But it's also why I'm in the picture with this conversation. And I believe that when I turn things over and I don't get attached and I don't become entitled, which, I ride through those emotions, that the best thing for everybody involved is going to happen. And that's the thing, is that death is pretty permanent. And that is the last frontier. So anybody out there who has anything of value, I would just invite you to make sure that somebody's name is on as your beneficiary of your checking account, all of your bank accounts, because guess who gets the money if it's not? I mean, I don't know how you feel about our government and how they spend money and how they do things, the tax laws and everything else, but I would much rather have my family's kids getting the money after I pass and being surprised that, oh, Auntie Whitney left me money, or I'm a beneficiary on Auntie Whitney's will, than having it go to probate and then having the heirs have to fight it out or deal with all of the things that come with it. And in my case, we're not fighting it out. My heirs are my family from my mom's side are very, very good human beings, and we're actually having a really great time getting closer. So, but it's also very interesting to see the behavior of other people when they are attached to money or they're trying to get something, and what happens in those environments. Cheers. Get a will.